What's up, Hoop Center? In today's video, we'll be filling out the latest Joe Lunardi bracketology. All right, here we go. First up, we got Duke versus American. That's pretty easy. Duke beats American. Don't really feel like there's much to say about that one. Duke's better than American. Next up, Baylor versus Texas. Texas did beat Texas A&M in a crazy one. Baylor coming back to beat, I think it was Kansas. So give me Baylor. I think Baylor's the better team than Texas this year. I think Baylor wins. Next up, George Mason, Mississippi. George Mason, not necessarily a team I would want to mess with. In Mississippi, a team I would want to mess with, even though they did just beat UK. But give me George Mason to win. Next up, Michigan State, Akron. That's a pretty easy game for me. Give me Michigan State. Michigan State having a pretty good year under Tom Izzo's speculated last year. I think this Michigan State team gets it done. Next up, UCLA, Georgia. Not a UCLA fan this year. Don't really feel like they've got much accomplished this year. They've lost pretty bad teams. They've really only beaten who they should have beaten. That's why, in my opinion, they lose to Georgia. Next up, Kansas, Townsend. Give me Kansas. They've had a pretty bad year. But you gotta pick Kansas in this matchup. Kansas is just good. Compared to Townsend. Kansas isn't even that good. That's showing how bad Townsend really is in that conference. So, give me Kansas to beat Townsend. Next up, Michigan, New Mexico. Give me New Mexico Lobos. The Lobos are probably going to win the Mountain West, which is never, ever done to a team. I mean, obviously, every year someone wins the Mountain West. It's so hard. The Mountain West is stacked. So, give me New Mexico to beat a team in Michigan. I'm not really high on either, Dusty May. This Michigan team. Next up, Florida, UNC Asheville. Listen, Florida fans, you've got to pick some upsets in here. Some big upsets. Give me UNC Asheville. They're probably the best number 15 seed in the tournament. Give me UNC Asheville to go on a pretty crazy win. I think it'll be a nail biter, probably a game winner. But give me UNC Asheville. Next up, Duke, Baylor. Give me Duke. I know Baylor has been doing some magical things, coming back by 21, 23, something to beat Kansas. But Duke wins. George Mason, Michigan State. Give me, nope. Give me Michigan State. Michigan State's a safe pick, in my opinion, to go pretty far. It's Tom Izzo. They always go pretty good and do pretty good in March Madness. So let's move on. Georgia, Kansas. This shows how bad I think Kansas is. They're lucky to even be in the second round. So give me Georgia, who beat UK for love of gosh. Next up, New Mexico, UNC Asheville. Give me UNC Asheville to come out of nowhere and go to the Sweet 16. I think it's gonna be a physical game. I think UNC Asheville does win in a close game. Next up, the Sweet 16. Duke, Michigan State. Give me Michigan State. You've got to have a 3 or 4 go far in the tournament. And for me, that is just Michigan State. Next up after that, you've got Georgia going against UNC Asheville. UNC Asheville, in my opinion, just a great team. I think that they're going on my Cinderella story to the Elite Eight. Next up, Michigan State, UNC Asheville. I do think Michigan State does go to the Final Four. Don't think they beat. I don't think UNC Asheville beats Michigan State. Next up, the West region. Central Connecticut versus Tennessee. Give me Tennessee. That's a pretty easy one. The West Virginia Mountaineers going into Clemson. Give me Clemson. I think Clemson, better team. West Virginia had a pretty good start to the year, but no, Clemson wins. Michigan, UC Irvine. UC Irvine. Missouri, UC Irvine. UC Irvine. Pretty easy. Next up, Wisconsin, Arkansas State. Pretty easy. Next up, Oregon, Pitt. Give me Oregon. I don't really like Pitt this year. I don't like Oregon either, but gotta pick someone. Texas A&M, Northern Colorado. Texas A&M. UConn, Ohio State. Is this a shocker I'm picking Ohio State here? Ohio State's just having a better year than UConn overall. And then, pretty easy pick. Tennessee, Clemson. I've already got my study for I'm gonna go Tennessee. I think no, you've gotta have a 1 seed lose early. I think that's Duke in the Sweet 16. So give me Tennessee. Got UC Irvine going to the Sweet 16 though to play Tennessee. Next up, Oregon, Texas A&M. Give me Texas A&M, not even close. And then Iowa State beats Ohio State. So here we are. Give me UC Irvine. I think Tennessee's the weakest 1 seed in this year. UC Irvine beats one of the only 3 teams to have 20 wins, I think. Texas A&M, Iowa State. Texas A&M, a pretty safe team to pick, especially after Iowa State got blown out at home to Kansas State. And then go in the Final Four. Give me UC Irvine to beat Texas A&M Aggies, being my Cinderella team in this. Next up, and then we're going to speed through the next 2 regions. Auburn, give me Creighton, Arizona, Grand Canyon, St. John's, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Houston. Auburn, Arizona, St. John's, Houston, St. John's, Auburn, Alabama, give me St. Mary's. You know what? Give me Yale. Samford, Drake. I feel like I'm going to upset happy, actually. Trying to think who I want here. Who do I want here? Give me Marquette, Louisville, and Purdue. I like Louisville over Purdue. I know this might be an upset, but give me Louisville. Give me Drake. I don't like Marquette either. Texas Tech, Alabama. I think Texas Tech, and I think the Cinderella story there comes to an end. And that means Louisville goes to the Final Four, which I think they lose to Auburn, and I think Michigan State here. Give me the Michigan State sponsors to win. Thank you all. See you all in the next video.